I'm not a big fan of this problem. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? Let me tell you why. Sequence is shown below. It's the recursive formula. Well, when we think of a sequence, our mind automatically goes in one of two directions. It's either arithmetic or geometric, so let's test it. If it's arithmetic, we're adding the same thing every time. We add 6, we add 8, we add 10. Oh, okay, so it's not arithmetic. Then it must be geometric. We double it, then we multiply it by, oh wait, not 2. This is one of those tricky ones that's neither arithmetic nor geometric. And I didn't teach you any like this. I'll go ahead and tell you it's quadratic. And arithmetic would be linear, and geometric would be exponential, and this one's quadratic. But before you beat me up saying you never showed us this, all it's asking you to do is tell the recursive formula. Okay, so it's really saying, how can I get from one term to the next? Let's do it. Let's do it. Here's what I think we need to do. We need to test and see if it works. And we need to test it with, for example, n equals 2. So here's your first one. Here's T1. Now normally we'd use A's, but I'm going to go with a T because they use T. So here's T1, here's T2, here's T3, and you get the drift. T4, T5, T6. Okay, if we were to plug in a 1 for n, then we would have to have some other place to start. We'd have to know what T0 was, and there is no T0. Okay? So what I think we need to do in order to test this and see what happens, in order to test each of these answer choices, is plug in 2 for n. Okay? So let's do it. So this is going to be 2 plus 2 times T sub 1 plus 1. Okay, well, T sub 1 is 6. This is going to be 2 plus 2 times 6 plus 1. That's 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. Okay? What in the world does that tell us? It tells us it's not A. Here's why. If n is 2, then the second term, Tn, T2, should be 16. It's not. The answer is not A. Okay? Let's keep going. B. We're going to plug in a 2 for n. So this should say T sub 1, n minus 1 is 2. I'm sorry. N minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 1. So T sub 1 plus 1 times 2 minus 2. Go ahead and tell you this one's not going to work because 2 minus 2 is 0. Let's keep going though. We know what T1 is 6. The problem with this one, T equals T2, and it doesn't, so because that doesn't work, it's not B. The problem with this one is that the kicker with this one, not the problem, is they want you to understand the notation. They want you to understand that you can plug in a number for n, and in plugging in that number, it's going to require you to look back at this list to plug in the appropriate stuff. If I'm going to plug in a 2 right here, then I'm going to have T with a 2 minus 1, which really means it's T1, which really means it's a 6. And so you'll have to understand the notation in order to do this. So let's keep going. 2 of T sub 1 plus 2 minus n is 2. Now the question probably pops up, how in the world did you pick a 2? I just picked it. I picked 2. You can pick 4, you can pick any number between 2 and 6. But again, you can't pick 1 because you'd have to know the previous term in order to do that. And you couldn't do it. Because a lot of recursive formulas require you to know the previous term, and there's no previous term to the 6. Alright, so let's keep going here. 2 and then T1 is 6. 6. Fourth period got it. Second period probably didn't get it. It's a running joke in fourth period. 2 times 8 minus 4 is going to give us 16 minus 4, which is 12. That looks promising. That looks very promising. So far I'm thinking the answer is C. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to do D real quick. If D doesn't work for 2, then we're going to cross it out. And we'll pick C as our answer. So, T sub 1 plus 2 times 2 plus 1 equals, and that one's 6. Plus 2 times 3. Oh, that's 12. Whoa, we have a tie. Either C or D is correct. They both work for n equals 2. So here's what, oh my word, I'm out of space. Here's what we need to do. We need to plug in a different number for n and see if it works. Because I have space, let me see. I was about to say because I have space, I'm going to keep continuing on the D here, but I don't. I'm going to use a separate piece of paper. There you go. I'll neatly tear it out. There. Let's go back to the letter C for just a moment. Here goes. Letter C, going to test it out again. I'm going to test it for n equals 3. We're going to continue to do this until we get one of them that doesn't work, then we'll mark it out and pick the other one. All right. So what this says is T sub n. N is going to be 3 now. T sub 3 should equal 2 times T sub 3 minus 1, is 2, plus 2 minus 3 plus 2. All right, if this is 20, then I'm optimistic about it. If it's not, we're going to throw it out. 2. T2 is 12. It's also a Terminator movie. 12 plus 2 minus 5. All right, we have 14 times 2. That is 28. Oops, 28 minus 5. That is 23. T3 is 23. D3 is not 23. The answer is not C. The answer is D. If I was to continue this process, this painful process, for 3, 4, 5, 6, forever, that would be the recursive formula. That is actually the recursive formula for a quadratic sequence.